Welcome back to the most professional StarCraft 2, where I'm happy to introduce to you the proud owner of a barracks far more than halfway across the map. It's Team Liquid's Clem. And just a hop, skip, and a Reaper jump away is the main base of the Protoss in the blue, the mysterious MaxPax. Yet again, another best of 5 Protoss versus Terran finals. And somehow starting things off earlier than usual. The probe does not spot the barracks, which means I have just a little more time to beg you for likes. And if you haven't made it there yet, subscribes. And Jimmy, what are we... 1,330 likes on this cast, on this series, on this finals. I'll cast another one. I'll probably do it anyways. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you've had a good day so far. And hopefully it's about to get a little bit better. Here we go again. The top 2 players, barring Cyril, from Europe. As the Reaper gets into the main, a bunker is on the way, and here we go again. Somehow starting off even earlier, before the 2-minute mark, as the Reaper cyber bullies the Zealot, as the cyber core is nearly done. And the cyber core, of course, very important to build any units that can't be chased down by this dual pistoled menace. The Adept comes out, ready to throw some shade, but unfortunately a little bit too slow, and the Reaper has 3 entrances to the main base. Big Reaper making a cameo appearance yet again, designing this map. Yes, we're just redistricting, alright? We're just gonna put 3 Reaper... They're good for Colossi too, it's perfectly fine. Meanwhile, the probe's still in the main, sees the timing of the factory, Adept shading across, the bunker... Wow, 2 Reapers and taking down the pylon. But now MaxPax is on the high ground with the Stalker to deal with this. Adept shade across the map. MaxPax has kept the probe alive in the main. Not sure if that's going to become relevant in any way. But a 3rd Reaper on the way. Technically, 3 Reapers can actually beat the Stalker, but one of them gets stuck. No! Trapped in a prison of his own design. And that may actually save MaxPax here. That extra split second it took for the Reaper to navigate its way out of the bunker. Just enough to get the second Stalker out. 3 Reapers are required. Oh, Cyclone pops out, but the shade away just in time, and the probe, who lived, is finally dead. And somehow the game is only 3.5 minutes in. Already an exhausting start. Stalkers out on the field, the barracks is flying back, the Phoenixes are flying out, and the medevac is flying into danger, or will be momentarily. Did he spot the not the barracks. He didn't spot the Stargate. And that is probably the most important thing to have seen here. So just like MaxPax wasn't quite able to see the barracks, now MaxPax's Stargate has not quite been scouted by Clem. If he's able to get enough Phoenixes, Cyclones don't deal well with a higher number of Phoenixes. If you're able to bully them out of the way with that lock-on, sure, it's great. But the Phoenixes are a direct and overwhelming response. And MaxPax has been bullied by Clem's bunkers before and has come up with an answer. So the Phoenix is flying out. I think he spotted the medevac. He's going to wait for the Cyclones to drop out. Comes in from both sides. Clem picks up the second Cyclone, will cut his losses. And now, just now expanding. MaxPax still has 38 probes to 31. The medevac took a hard right turn and was able to evade the Phoenixes that are chasing, but the Phoenix is going to help the Reapers fly just a little higher than they're used to. And then drop them back down dead. Knocks them all out. The medevac is coming back, but Clem doesn't have too many units left over. A tank comes down the ramp, but he'll just pick it up. The SCVs will be able to repair. Here comes the Cyclone. Tank not able to be repaired enough. Cyclone's picked up. And now it's just the boys. The Viking hits the deck where actually there's not enough energy left for the Phoenixes to lift it. In something resembling irony. Well, another Phoenix comes up, lifts the Viking, knocks it down, and the Phoenixes are adding up so much damage. MaxPax with a surgical defense. Surgery with a bit of a meat cleaver here, but still surgery nonetheless, as he just keeps cleaving through anything really Clem can bring out onto the field. The Cyclone does get another one of, okay, let's look at the losses. Wow! MaxPax has only lost 2 probes, a zealot, and an adept? That is an... I am flabbergasted. Okay? I am dumbfounded. I've been found dumb. Now, moving on. That is an incredible defense. And kept the expansion alive. As well as it's taken a third. That is more than you could ever ask for. You ask for this much and they call you greedy and unrealistic. But MaxPax is here taking it for himself. More SCVs. And now Clem, he doesn't even have Stim on the way. MaxPax already got a Robo-Bay and a Colossus is on the way behind it. Make use of those Reaper clips. Third command center for Clem. He still doesn't have a single tech lab on any of his barracks. Alright, he's got naked barrack. It's embarrassing. Put some tech labs on those barracks. These Phoenixes are doing so much. It's... He actually broke the lock on that. Loses a Phoenix. Clem? Well, MaxPax's gonna be heading across. Is he? Kind of looks like he wants to move out. He's got the Robo there. And he's just now, 7.5 minutes in, is going to finish a tech lab on a barracks. Phoenix Colossus is a tried and true strategy, but rarely does it mean just one Colossus. But in this particular case, the Phoenix is escorting it, literally right-clicked on it. That Colossus easily will be able to take down the Vikings. Clem microing back. There's an Immortal underneath, though. The Vikings taken down. There's not that much of an army, but the Phoenixes are boxing out everything. And MaxPax with a decisive and incredible defense. And turns it into a hard-fought victory. Wow. Any moment of that could have been devastating for MaxPax. He played it perfectly from start to finish. He didn't know where the proxy was. He didn't panic with the bunker on the way. He picked apart the Cyclone drop. He didn't even shut down the Cyclone drop. He just kind of boxed it out for a while. And then dismantled the defense at home. There's not much more you can ask for. Well, there's one thing we can ask. Can he do it again? Oh my. Clem's like, okay. But what if? So we're gonna have one of these series, aren't we? Game 2, Golden Nora. Clem's barracks. About the same distance away. Probe will get into the main. Of course. Now what do you change? There isn't a tech lab being slapped down. We've seen some Marauder all-ins before that are certainly dangerous as well. Oh my god. 2 for 2 on bunker rushes. Trying to manipulate the SCV. It is RNG, effectively. The SCV refuses. It refuses to go to the right spot there. Well, the MaxPax knows exactly the timing of the Reaper coming in. And, well, oh no. Will the bunker finish? Where are you going? Sell it. Sell it! He's dealing with the Reaper in the main. Oh, no, no, no! Oh, that SCV. Oh. It couldn't have been more done. My god. That bunker got canceled later than StarCraft Ghost. The bar was full. Just needed to cut the ribbon on the bunker. I knew we shouldn't have had the opening ceremony, but... God, this Ella gets at the last possible second. A lot of that from MaxPax here so far. The Reaper. Pushed away by the Stalkers. A grenade. Another. And the Reaper will escape for now. Command center on the way home, but MaxPax again. A shoestring defense. But more than enough. Zealot. Going to be chased down by the Reaper, but served its purpose of slapping down the SC. Oh, wait! Don't talk to me or my son ever again. or whatever weird relationship stalkers and zealots have. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I think like stalkers are dead zealots, but that got upgraded or something. Maybe that's why zealots love dying. We meet in glorious battle. Whereas the stalkers are like, I was hiding this entire time. Eats the lock-on with the zealot. Blink is on the way. This time, Clem able to target fire the lock-on onto the stalker, but he's okay. He's just gonna get in. But who's getting in where? The second cyclone comes out, and just enough repair. This time around, biting off more than he can metaphorically chew. MaxPax, of course, Protoss don't have mouths, so don't worry, we got it covered today. Clem on his way in towards the main. Will spot the Twilight Council. Not sure if he had vision of it before, but confirmed what he suspected. Blink stalkers in production. We'll see if Clem is able to use any tech lab barracks this time around. Still no tech lab here, but he might be doing a bit of flip around. No, a second Raven on the way. Gonna be sending the first one out. Some auto turret harass. Mostly safe against the blink stalkers unless you time things particularly poorly. Already. An intense series between these two, but when is it not? The Raven, spotted by the Stalker, the Spylon on the way as well. Raven just gonna be hanging out. The Stalkers will be shaking their metaphorical fists at it. It does pin the Stalkers back for now. So Clem tying up that supply. Though MaxPax's perfectly happy to just take his third Nexus, it seems. Honestly, it's been on Clem rather, to decide when he wants to expand. MaxPax rather been on Clem to pressure MaxPax's expand. All right, I got there. He's the one being aggressive in both these games, and recently between them, the trend has been Clem trying to find this decisive timing, and MaxPax just trying to live through it. So far, this game a lot closer to even, as Clem has managed to get his stim and combat shield on the way. Does he even have an engineering bay? He does, but it looks like a triple threat timing of the most garden variety. Straight up double tech lab going into medevacs with +1 on the way. Going to be moving out with whatever he can put together as those medevacs complete. MaxPax on the other side with charge in production. The gateway explosion at 52 probes here, cutting probes for a bit to make sure. The all-important warp prism. The warp prism, the most reliable way to threaten the Terran and keep them pinned back, much like the Raven able to do here. Pulls away with the probes, only gets one. But that warp prism existing, and the threat of a charge lot or even blink stalkers diving in towards the main will keep Clem back, at least until he decides to commit to the attack. And if then he sends all his reinforcements out, the charge lots could undercut any efforts he makes. We've seen many games end because a warp prism hit at the wrong or the right time, depending on who you're looking at. And now this is a bit awkward. Hello? Oh. MaxPax has to fly away. The Marines, they do have stim, but who's flanking who? The Raven! MaxPax gets it! And is able to blink away. I wasn't sure if he had blinked in already. Blunked. Blunked? No, definitely not that one. Ghetto blinks back. Still, such smooth micro from MaxPax, keeping him going across the map. Raven tries to come back in, but those stalkers are still pinned back. Some charge lots heading for the south side. Bioarmy again, bleeding out units. The charge lots doing what the warp prism cannot. It's already been driven away. Charge lots at the... Oh, he doesn't have anything in the bunker! Oh, he's gonna lose 2 Marauders for pretty much free. The force field's optimistic. Clem bearing down on this. Juggles back. Shield battery overcharge. Slick micro there from MaxPax to keep that Immortal intact. And now the Colossus is stumbling down. +1 ground weapons about to complete. Shield battery overcharge tying things together. And the charge lot still got into the natural. Killing SCVs. If MaxPax can keep his third base alive, that's the difference maker. That Immortal drop looking for the tanks. Just enough Marines to box it out for now. Shields are down on the Nexus. The Immortal. Barrier is triggered and blasted through. He's trying to dodge tank shots by juggling the Immortal. He's actually timing the Immortal drop in between the tank shots. He misfires for a moment. And Clem still getting terrible, terrible damage done. Maybe missing the forest or the trees. Forest for the trees? Whatever. Whatever makes more sense here. But too focused on micro means Clem still pounding his way through. The Raven taken out, but what's left here for MaxPax? He takes down 2 of the tanks. Clem still stimming his way through. Marauders underneath. Probes have to be pulled. He's juggling the Colossi for all they're worth, and they're very valuable creatures. Another shield battery overcharge, warping in point-blank range, and somehow MaxPax defends. He loses 10 probes in the process. They're dead even. Clem lands his third base, or completes it. Templar Archives on the way to drop into the main. Clem still threatening. Targets the shield battery first. More charge lots. And another attack at the third. The force field optimistic. He may have been able to drive Clem back, but he didn't take him out. And that Colossus falls. Still the Widowmine zoning. The medevacs circle around to the natural. The fact that MaxPax lived is a testament to his skill overall. But at the end of the day, there's not enough left. Another dozen probes dead. A desperate charge lock counterattack. Clem has enough SCVs left over, though. A single charge lot is kind of a sign of death. When you can pull SCVs to defend against charge lots, that's not enough of a counterattack. More charge lots into the main. Some Archons on the way. Back at home. And somehow that Nexus is still alive. The shield battery patting it on the back here. Reshielding it. Symbiotic relationship. Actually gets it all the way back to full. That's something. And the recall on the Warp Prism. What? And there's a Cyclone drop that just happened to be coming through. Almost types it off. But I don't think Clem was paying attention to the fact it recalled to the main. Somehow MaxPax still driving Clem out, but I think Clem realizes the situation. And also, look at the upgrades. I think MaxPax just did. Clem +1, MaxPax +1. We're 11 minutes in. MaxPax was working on +2, but that tells you how focused and how aggressive these two are. The upgrades are for units if they live. You just need more units now. MaxPax struggling to keep up with Clem, and it's just not enough this time around. Still, though, a ridiculous... like, oh my god. Anyone else? I can't... anyone else. Dead several times over. MaxPax juggles his way into survival. If he did a little more damage with the charge lots, if the Warp Prism happened to get in, there's so many variables here, but you gotta make your own luck. And MaxPax has a tendency to do that on a regular basis. So we got a series. Clem's able to get the damage done. Will he do it again, though? 1 for 1 with the Proxy Raxes. MaxPax sends out a probe almost at the start of the game. Not so much to scout where the Proxy Rax is, just if it is. Because, now this is some basic scouting here. A lot of people pay good money for this sort of knowledge. So like and subscribe, that'll be your payment. So if they don't have a barracks in their base, it's not because they forgot it. It's because it's somewhere else. And that is the deduction that MaxPax is making in the early game. You can look at the gases, and then Usually the factory will be back at home either way. Honestly, I'm not sure how easy it is to read between a proxy Marauder and a proxy Reaper, but the response is still pretty similar. If they got a bunker coming up, usually you'll want a shield battery or something along those lines to deal with it. Except for the exception being game 1, where he was able to kill the bunker from the high ground because of the circumstances, which was definitely an odd one as well. I think going for the bunker rush when you've already forced them to take another base is maybe a bridge too far. But if anyone's gonna cross it. Clem snipes off the probe. Doesn't make it home. We're gonna play a ring around the Nexus with the Adept and the Reaper, I'm sure. Adept Shade chasing. Oh, he blocked him in! Oh, but wait, there's more! Not this time. Gets him. Now, took a little longer than he expected, but did not expect the pylon block of the Reaper jump. I love it. MaxPax boxes out. Well, physically walls off the Reaper. They can't get in, they can't get out. Murders one, but the fact that Clem had multiple Reapers, already a little bit of a tell, and that's going to make the Stargate even better. Oh, no! Oh, he didn't expect the Reaper Hellion! Loses an Adept, and this is not... You cannot afford to be losing extra units here. What does he have at home? 2 Adepts. The Phoenixes, I think, are going to be required. Just 2 Adepts will lose to the Hellion Reaper, even if they're not in ideal circumstances. But the Phoenixes could turn the tides. He could save the Adept with a Phoenix. Doesn't go for it. That only stalls out the inevitable. Right now, all he's doing is putting this Reaper in timeout. You've been a bad, bad man. Yeah, tell me more. Oh, you weren't supposed to like that. Don't make it weird. I don't... All right. That's the one, officer. That's the weird one. Second Phoenix comes in, but now they have to just sit there and watch the Reapers murder probes, which is pretty depressing, actually. Clem, with this is effectively a TVT build, designed to get extra damage done if your opponent makes any mistakes. Seems to work just fine against the Protoss as well, especially since there were no Stalkers early. Oh no. Reaper gets 4 kills. And he even just picks it up, knocks it down, but 7 kills here. And now Clem has his expansion done with Mules Mining. That's a lot of damage. This time around, MaxPax, almost no defense at all. The Phoenixes having to be used to kill Reaper Hellion after they're already killing probes is far from the ideal scenario. The Vikings can always land here, but with Cyclones underneath, there's no reason they should be forced to do so. MaxPax's gonna try to make something happen with the Phoenixes. So far, coming up empty. Third command center already on. Did he spot the third CC? He did not. Engineering bay is on the way. And the Vikings. He micros back the Viking. Takes out one of the Phoenixes. Loses a Viking. Interesting trade. The Cyclone helping out a lot against the air. Phoenixes are mechanical units, so the Vikings, or the... Well, Vikings on the ground, though I don't know if there's any scenario that Phoenixes would be on the ground. Anyway, Cyclones do bonus damage to mechanical. Whatever they're attacking, ground or air. Robo Bay. Phoenix Colossus will be the choice, but unlike Game 1, MaxPax doesn't have a significant economic lead or map control. Clem will be able to get to Stim. He has enough Vikings, and Vikings, of course, are threatening to Colossi, as well as the Phoenixes. They're kind of one size fits all. Not so bad on the ground against the rest of the army either, but you got a job to do first. Third command center looking to land. MaxPax expanded to the triangle location, past the mineral wall. over to the, let's call it 10-15 spot. Observer gonna spot the tanks. There's a lot of Phoenixes out there. In fact, he's getting a second Stargate. He's really doubling down. Right, quite literally with the Stargates here. Interesting choice. I haven't seen anyone commit this hard to Phoenixes, but he's not willing to give up air control. Usually you'll see like 7 or 8 Phoenixes, and then that'll be it. That's the number. Anything past that, and they just kind of give up air control to the Terran. But MaxPax is not willing to do that. Knocks out a Viking. He knows the value of Vikings as the Danish player here, and does not want to let Clem invade his lands or pillage his probes. The Reapers have done enough. 2 Phoenixes at a time. I think this is going to catch Clem way off guard. Because Clem he's playing this like TVT where you go mass Viking into tanks. It's almost exactly a TVT build. And the same principles apply. If you lose air control, you've lost almost everything. And in this case, instead of siege tanks, he's going to be facing against Colossi, which are just as deadly to the ground army. Vikings knock out a Phoenix. He's got +1 air weapons on the way. We'll see here. What is the Viking count? 8 of them. Now there's a dozen Phoenix. I think it's gonna work. The question is, will there be enough left over to beat the ground army? That is the... did he spot the full Phoenix count? Clem is not stopping Viking production. And a fleet beacon is on the way. The beacon is lit. The Protoss call for aid, which is most of their storyline in StarCraft 2, but... Well, 1 Phoenix out in front gets sniped off. And Clem bearing down with quite a Terran army. Thermal Lance about to complete +1. The Colossi, he may decide to just snipe off the Colossi and ignore the Phoenixes. Well, the Phoenixes trying to trade with the Vikings. Will he pull the boys? There's a scenario, kind of an old school style, to just have enough to wipe out the Colossi, pull the boys to deal with the rest. Phoenix range is on the way. Now this is certainly... He's really not giving it up, but a couple ghosts here could do so much. And EMP on the Phoenixes softens them all up. The shield battery overcharge going to help out immensely. But is it going to be enough? Another EMP! And the Phoenixes are getting wiped out of the sky. It did not work. And unfortunately, the EMP, in many ways, wipes out the energy and the shields. I love what he was trying, but it just, well, Clem with a decisive demonstration of why it's not a very common strategy. Just kind of ends. That is, yeah, kind of why we don't see the Mass Phoenix. I was wondering if MaxPax might find a solution there, one that we haven't seen. But instead, we've rediscovered the counter. Of course, the ghost. All right, Clem up 2-1, match point as we go into Site Delta. SCV poked off the work site. Workplace harassment is a real danger in StarCraft 2. But Clem gets his barracks up at home. No proxy rags this time. No proxy gate. No MaxPax build out of MaxPax. And don't get pedantic and say every build that MaxPax does is a MaxPax build very technically. Hides the Marine at the high ground. Only if the probe committed up to the high ground would he show it. That is masking a Reaper. So, to MaxPax's knowledge, that's why he backed off with the probe. There's a Reaper coming. He didn't want to lose the probe. So by not sending the Marine down when it finishes, Clem keeps MaxPax guessing, which is more valuable than making the probe feel uncomfortable. It's one of those plays that works best against players who are as smart and as good as MaxPax, which is effectively no one, especially for Protoss, but especially no one that Clem is playing regularly. But these two have played each other more than probably all of the games of the Bronze League combined this season, so at least from legitimate Bronze Leaguers. And that's not just because the average Bronze League game is a 35-minute TVT where somebody eventually A-moves battlecruisers with 100 more supply. No! But because these two play essentially every week, and probably half their games on the ladder, as the amount of people they can match on the ladder within 500 MMR is in the single digits. I believe MaxPax recently topping 7,200, something only Cyril has done. And probably only by not facing MaxPax too often. I'm not sure where Clem's at. Clem often plays on Barcode and other sorts. Which you can't really blame the very top players, as literally they're playing their competition on the left. Their tournament competition. Adepts continue throwing shade. Gonna do some juggle shades here. Realizing, so the reason he's sticking around with the shades, he realizes that with the reactor barracks, there's no cyclone. Or there's no cyclones, rather, coming out. But there is a Hellion drop on the way, which is quite a cheeky move. He is deliberately evading all this. The Marines are coming down. MaxPax's revolving door of shades will be driven back for now. Quite annoying. The Marines not fast enough to catch up, but if he's not looking for a split second, they'll easily gun down the Adepts. Keeping track of things. I think MaxPax is getting suspicious. Or he's getting aggressive. I guess that's the second one. The Hellion drop is on the way in. There's nothing in the main base to defend. Nothing at all. He's got a Spylon for a little bit of an extra warning here. But it's going to be a 4-gate blink pressure. The bread and buttered biscuit of Protoss timings. And very dangerous to Clem, especially if he gets caught out on the map. He's going to be relying on the Hellions to get a lot of damage done. And he has nothing back at home at the main right now. Another warping comes through, but Clem just losing his Marines. Sending in the medevac with the Hellions. But this is really not that scary. 8 Marines in total, even if some are in the bunker. Gonna be forced back, but the Hellions into the main. MaxPax, oh, the probe sacrifice! He had pulled 2 or 3 probes, and they bought so much time there. But was it in vain? Boxes out with the Stalkers, looking for the medevac itself. The Stalker's a little off center, but into the main base. The tank shelling from the low ground. He will get the stim pack upgrade. Juggles back some of the Adepts. Another siege tank is done, though. And MaxPax will be forced out of the base. Oh, no. Bit of a false start there. And now struggling. MaxPax down 6 workers. That could be compounded with another Hellion drop. Same Hellions, another drop. I think it's a... But the medevac lost a bit of motivation there at the end. And didn't accelerate away fast enough. The Stalkers take it out, and that means MaxPax can focus all of his efforts. And there's no repair on the bunker. He wants it so desperate. Clem pulls 1 SCV. What, are you on a budget? That is hubris right there. Somehow the Observer survived. It doesn't really matter if he's on a budget because repairing costs the same amount no matter how many SCVs. It's just 1/4 of the cost. The bunker is not fully repaired. The siege tank is taken out. MaxPax blunks in. Finally a Viking to help deal with the War Prism. But Ghetto blanking out with the Prism itself. Juggling the Stalkers back. The Viking needs to be targeted. Raven comes back. Viking goes down. Beautiful blink micro. MaxPax needs more damage. Clem still has the SCVs. He's still building up the economy. Stim was delayed, but he's got another tech lab, and he's over halfway done with Stim and Combat Shield. Down goes the Observer. An important part of this, indeed. One Stalker out in front to try to tank the tank damage, but actually struggles to maneuver it forward. Another warp and Combat Shield blinks over to the mineral line, sniping off some of the SCVs. Gonna work, but with Combat Shield on the Marines. Ooh, now playing with fire. MaxPax has shored up his economy back at home. He's done damage, but it hasn't been deadly. Clem still building up momentum. He's been slowed down. Now the question will be, can MaxPax deal with the timing that is inevitably... Wow, syllables have been struggling today, as have words in general. Edit that out, Jimmy. Pretend I said something clever then. I say clever thing. What? Sorry. Observer spots the double medevac. This is the potential win. MaxPax, will Clem scan? If he doesn't scan, it could be disastrous. He gets one! He gets both! Knocks him into the water! And with it, Clem now underwater in supply. Yes, okay, a warp-in changes it. He went from a 10 or 15 supply lead. Well, and now drowns. Though Widowmine's hitting Stalkers hard in the center of the map. Kills two. A single Widowmine could take out the Prism. It's already been bruised, but it gets spotted in time. The charge lots and the Prism in the main. There's not much defense here. Clem is in a tenuous position. More charge lots warping in. Storm is coming in at home. And the tank's caught out in the middle of the map. He tries to save him. Gets one. Has to fall back. So many charge lots here. More units stimming down. The SCVs may have to be pulled. Gets to the high ground. Charge lots in the main. The last Marauder eviscerated. And now cleaving through the SCVs. The Blink Stalkers getting chased away by Marauders at the third, but Clem is starting to lose a critical amount of economy. Auto turrets way late on the draw there. The Vikings will take out the Prism, but the Stalkers come back in for some more SCVs. He'll get a couple. Blinking away, not intimidated by the tank, just taking it into account. Psy Storm is done. MaxPax has the tools to defend back at home. Clem does not have a Ghost Academy. He's got 1-1 completed, but in the face of Storm, it doesn't matter how many armor upgrades you have. MaxPax has scraped his way back into a workable position. He is by no means winning, but he has the tools to turn it very quickly. It comes down to the Storms. And by no means winning, I mean not a decisive advantage, as Clem could easily win any fight that doesn't involve massive Storms here, as that is a better upgraded bio army with better upgrade. I just was in circles. Better upgraded bio army with medevacs against just +1 attack gateway units. Now Clem dropping mules. This game on the edge of a knife, on the edge of a side blade. Archon's coming across. I think we'll give away the potential for that Prism. Ghosts now in production, but they're not yet delivered. A single, a very, very important Zealot spots the flank coming in. The War Prism in position, the Storms will land. Juggles the Templar back, anti-armor missile right before the Raven goes down. Archon dealing with the Marauders to the north side. Still a lot of bruised Stalkers here. Another Storm softens up. He's storming on all fronts. Feedbacks on the medevacs. Gets the merge off, and Clem zoned out. We gotta go to. We're gonna slow it down and see how MaxPax handled this fight. Alright, so as slow as we can get. He's still got units in the main. He sees units heading out to the south side. Already queues up. Splits away. He lets the Widow Mine hit and then blinks over the top to kill the tank. Realizes can't do anything about that. Focuses on the storms. Targets down the Viking. Triggers the Guardian shield. Pulls units back. Gets a warp-in. I missed that mid-fight. That warp-in makes all the difference. The Templar survives, and with its dying breath, casts a storm, feedbacks on the medevacs, and gets the merge. Meanwhile, the charge lots were getting damage in the natural. MaxPax holds on to the fight, and with it, the series is tied up 2-2. What a beautiful execution from MaxPax to keep himself going. The damage was done. He didn't get anything early on, but he kept trying. And the Blink Stalkers and the Charge Lots, just an immaculately played game after the initial stumble. These two are so good. God, it's intimidating. I think we could go back to that fight on both sides half a dozen times and still find something new and mind-blowing every time. But there's no time for that as we're in Game 5. Oh no. The probe getting trapped. It's gonna be double gas out of Clem. Factory on the way. Will he recall the probe? Try to get an SCV. I think he recalled the probe. Yeah. He knows the exact timing on that Reaper. Oh, but Clem doesn't want him to get the recall off. Now he's taking too much damage. Oh, he goes for the SCV. It's too late for the recall. I have to pay respect. I don't know if he was thinking about it at all, but almost got the SCV as well. Reaper takes it out. Adept? Well, was hoping for a free shot, but doesn't get it. It's going to be a Twilight yet again. The Twilight toss. Indeed. Reaper. Oh, this is just... Clem. You fool! The hubris! He thought he could get away, but that probe kind of jimmy jammed him. Oh, come on, MaxPax. Well, that was more worth it than a Reaper. I think he was trying to do the Widow Mine dodge. But the dancing of death is painful to those who miss a step. You can technically shade. You have to time it. Okay, or you could just walk up and shoot it. That's also an option here. Both players making some missteps. Like, he's gonna get the... Whoa! It was a trap. Oh, MaxPax taking some real hits here. Losing 2 Adepts for effectively free is not an ideal start. You can write that down somewhere. Honestly, the Reaper probably should have gotten away as well, so... A rough start here, but Blink is in production. Blink is almost required to deal with this. Cyclones. Behind it, Clem. We'll be adding on Barracks 2 and 3 soon. Stims or boosts. Stims the medevac. Boosted towards the main. Widowmine, bit of Prairie Dog micro. And the Cyclone just waltzes into the natural. Already 5 probes dead. He's target firing more. That Widowmine is zoning out. He sacrifices it, but some more Prairie Dog micro. 9 probes dead. Blink. 2 seconds. 1 second. That Widowmine's still there. He's retargeting. Oh no. He's trying to say, he's like, just take 1. Oh, the Widowmine. He lets it go now. 12. Oh, the Cyclone's not dead. Oh, no. It's a disaster. 15 and the Liberator. MaxPax got so much damage done with the Blink Stalkers last game. He needs to get just as much now. Clem got in his base, and he got away with murder. Well, pretty much none of the units that participated got away, but the idea stands. Clem as a whole, as an idea, got away with it. MaxPax and Clem both know what's about to happen. The Blink Stalkers will be in the main. There's only one tank for now. He targets the Banshee. The Banshee doesn't have cloak. And also, there's a Banshee, by the way. That's an odd one. The Blink Stalker's gonna try something. A double bunker with pre-pulled SCVs. That's how confident Clem feels in this situation. The Zealot warped in here. Something to tank the tank damage. Tank's not quite in the perfect spot to deal with this. And the Banshee may die. One SCV was repairing. There was more damage being dealt. The Liberator finds 4 probes. Stalkers blink in, but only 2 of them make it out. It's, Clem. Hits him hard and fast. And MaxPax, I don't know if he can recover from this one. MaxPax has had such incredible defense, but this time it faltered. And Clem just picks him apart. That's it. He has to get this done now. He gets a tank. Juggling back. There aren't that many Marines. MaxPax makes some progress. There's 3 tanks. Blinks into the main. Warps in a couple extra Stalkers. There's still 1 tank in here. Getting big hits. Blinking forward. He goes for 1. A lot of damage being dealt by those tanks. But he's getting... If there aren't any tanks left, there's no stim. Clem! Whoa, whoa, whoa! He's starting to run thin on units. The Blink Stalkers are being cut down, but... There's a dream. He's juggling back into the prism, blinking while he blinks. I heard you like blink. At this point, MaxPax has his eyes fully closed. Chasing back, just unsiege tanks here. He can only fit 4 Stalkers inside the prism. He's leading him on quite a chase here. There's almost nothing at the natural. Down to the low ground, 1 Stalker. And the chase will continue. Siege tank on the high ground, big hit. Juggling out, MaxPax. A valiant effort. Probably better than you could ever expect in such a scenario. Was it enough? No. No. And the prism. It may already be too late to recall. He tries to get away. He's gonna sacrifice the Viking to get the prism. Four Stalkers with 1.5 Stalkers of HP between them. Infantry weapons, level 1. Auto turret. Laid down at the natural. MaxPax can't afford any probe losses. He's... The sentry too. What a series. It's not over. But... Only MaxPax can believe that now. And I know MaxPax knows how bad this is. The Stalkers blink out, but there's no escape! Clem hunts him down and knocks him out. It's gonna be 3-2 Clem this time around. But a back and forth bonanza. A beautifully played series by both sides. Just a real chess boxing match between these two. Once again, one of my favorites of the very many they've played. I gotta say, I like the variety we saw today. MaxPax showing it off, but also Clem holding it down. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I made it. The words not living up to the gameplay of these two, but I hope it made your day a little bit better. If you got the means and motivation, be awesome. Check out Patreon or YouTube membership. I hear liking and subscribing is still free for now. If you haven't yet checked out the second channel, Winter Gaming on YouTube, not just Twitch, for streams and more content. Be awesome to do so. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Good luck, have fun, stay chill.
Hell, it's a